to go back-to-back for his championships. Carl Edwards going from substitute school teacher to potentially Sprint Cup Series champion. And Joey Logano tabbed as sliced bread when he first came into the sport as the greatest thing since, looking for his first ever championship. You can find out on Sunday. Race coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern as we look at the careers at Miami, and the numbers would say that Carl Edwards has the best numbers at this track.
I told somebody earlier, I think I was lying to them, but you tell me what driver you think should win, and I could give you a great reason why you're right. And that goes for all four drivers. All three manufacturers are supported. Three super teams are supported with Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, Penske. Team Penske's in. So, man, you couldn't think of better storylines. There are great storylines through the garage, but two champions, the defending champion, poor Carl Edwards with a two-time runner-up. There's so many great storylines. And then to cap it all off, Jimmy Johnson going for the 7th. I mean, I can't think how any of us would be disappointed with any of these four as champions.
And once again, we'll continue to follow the progress for all of the championship 4 drivers. But once again, in this sport, it's not just 4 drivers. There's 36 other cars and teams that are out there on the track fighting for a win, fighting for a great finish. Because remember, this sport is so much about momentum. You don't want to go into the offseason and have a bad race to think about for the next 2.5 months before you're able to get back out there and compete.
Well, and it's also about the teams of these 4 drivers. We're going to use Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Joe Logano. You're going to hear their names a lot. We're going to look at their stats. These are Carl Edwards having a great 3 wins this year, a couple short tracks and a high-speed track in Texas. But the truth is, we have seen just this Monday night, we watched the 2011 throwback of Tony Stewart winning the championship. And it was a great battle between 2 superstar drivers, but I think everyone forgot that gutsy pit call by Darian Grubb to keep Tony Stewart on the racetrack, stretch the fuel, actually run out of gas on pit road with the rain coming. There's so many dynamics. None of us know how this race will play out. Who will be the superstar? Is it going to be Carl Edwards? Is it going to be Carl Edwards' tire changer? Is it going to be Dave Rhodes top of the pit box? None of us know what the game-changing moment's going to be.
Amazingly enough, you mentioned that Darian Grubb was the crew chief for Tony Stewart. Actually, they had decided before that championship race that Darian Grubb would no longer be the crew chief after he wins the championship. And now Darian Grubb working for Hendrick Motorsports. And let's go to Martin.
Well, Rick, we showed you the cool helmet for Tony Stewart in his final start. Jimmy Johnson, at least for practice here at Homestead, Miami, has pulled out a cool helmet he had earlier this year, chasing 7. He would love to tie Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Richard Petty with 7 Sprint Cup Series championships. And a very calm mood down here in the 48 camp. They went out, they made that very fast lap that put them first on the board so far here in Miami. And then they waited 28 minutes before they went back on the racetrack. Jimmy came in after this qualifying run a moment ago, hopped out of the car again. A lot of calmness down here in the 48 camp, knowing what they're kind of going after today, and that's only focusing on qualifying trim for this 48 guys. So they certainly know what's going on, and they know the attitude they need to have going into this race and into this practice on Friday afternoon. Jimmy putting the helmet on right now, getting ready to go make a 3rd qualifying practice run here in Miami.
And Rick, those multiple runs are going to be important because Jeff and I were just discussing. Carl Edwards just ran a 3rd time. He ran a really good lap, 31.2, which is good, but we don't know what kind of laps he has on his tires. It's been about 20 minutes between runs for the 19 car, but Jeff was saying, there's a ton of tire wear. Would you want to run a 3rd time? Well, to sit on the pole, you're going to have to run at least 3 times. Right. So the timing and scoring can be misleading because that's your best lap. I'm going to go out on a limb, a pretty thick supported limb here, that the 3rd run on tires today for the pole will be nowhere near as fast as they had already run at qualifying.
Yeah, we watched Kevin Harvick, we watched Kyle Busch make runs earlier. Kyle Busch in 7 laps had lost a 2nd. So this is a high tire racetrack. Speed falls off of them. So you're not going to be able to go faster on your 3rd time out as you are your 1st time.
So important is no mistakes to win a championship. And we go back to last week at Phoenix and this mistake. Pit road penalty, where he accelerated to come onto pit road. He passed the pace car. And remember, this might not have been called if it wouldn't have been called earlier against Martin Truex Jr.
Well, I think then later, there's nothing you can do about that. A 3-car had a mechanical issue. battery problem. They all got stacked up. But that was the thing about that call, is that NASCAR made the call on the 78 car prior to this call. So when that call got made on the 78, Jimmy Johnson needed to be told at that point, hey, NASCAR is going to be vigilant in this call today. Do not pass the pace car. And those little things don't seem like much, but those are the little cracks in the armor we've seen this year from the 48. We've seen little bitty mistakes that mean a great deal. You can't afford that on Sunday. I say that. We watched the throwback race on Monday night, and Tony Stewart just kept coming back from mistakes. He just kept finding a way to come back. But you have to race 3 more people this year as opposed to Tony Stewart. He only had to race 1.
And Rick, it's only been called 4 times in 2016, but even here at Miami, the drivers are going to have to be cognizant of the fact, because the team, the pace car is going to run this bigger arc way up here to go on the front stretch. Well, you're going to peel off the pit in this area right here, and as a driver, if you accelerate down to this timing line right here, there's a chance that about right here you could be in front of the pace car. That right there would be the same penalty. So, it's been called twice here in the last 6 races. So this is something that, to Jeff's point, Jimmy Johnson had kind of a snarky quote, but I don't disagree with it there. He was confused. He said, NASCAR, I've led the field a lot to pit road, and I was unaware that this was an issue. But to NASCAR's defense, it's clear in the written rule that you can't pass the pace car. The question is, how clear is it consistently called? You mentioned the 70 got called last week. Jeff brings up a great point. Situational awareness. Every crew chief on pit road should have said, wait a minute, what was that call? And let their driver know. I think the line was kind of set last week. With everything else on the line here in Miami, they're going to have to really pay attention to that.
Listen, not only NASCAR's going to make that call for a half car length.
That's right.
Right, but when it's 6 car lengths, like when the 78 did it, I mean, he passed the pace car by probably 5 car lengths. That forced NASCAR to say, okay, we got to get this under control. And at that point, that's when Jimmy Johnson needs to be told, hey, look, they made the call on the 78. That's easy for us to say. I don't know how much time Jack Canals has to pay attention to what NASCAR is making on calls with other cars. But had Jimmy Johnson known that was called earlier, I don't think he would have done it again.
So again, the first practice of the day, the first practice of the weekend. In the championship 4, Jimmy Johnson is fastest in this practice. Carl Edwards 3rd, 13th and 14th for Busch and Logano.